History is teeming with individuals who, fed up with waiting for change, decided to roll up their sleeves and do it themselves. Picture this: a father, desperate to save his child from a deadly disease, develops a vaccine that saves millions. A man faced with a mountain separating his community from medical help, picks up a hammer and chisel, and starts carving a path. A woman, driven by love for her country, donates a tank and becomes a decorated soldier. And then a man, smack in the middle of World War II, creates a double-agent network that changes the tide of the war. These are not just stories. These are real people. They are the doers of history, who, when faced with a problem, thought, "To heck with it, I'll do it myself." Let's dive into the lives of these extraordinary individuals. First up, we have Maurice Hilleman, a man who saved millions of lives with a simple yet profound act. This man, ladies and gentlemen, was no ordinary individual. He was a scientist, a microbiologist to be precise, but his greatest achievement was as a father. When his daughter fell ill with mumps, Hilleman didn't just nurse her back to health. He saw an opportunity to make a difference. He took a sample of the virus that had made his child sick and began working on a vaccine. This wasn't a task he was assigned, it was a mission he took up himself, driven by a father's love and a scientist's curiosity. With tireless dedication, he developed a vaccine from his daughter's sample. A vaccine that didn't just cure his child, but went on to save countless lives. It was a vaccine for mumps, a disease that had once been as common as the cold, and just as unavoidable. But Hilleman changed that. His vaccine was a game changer. It was rolled out across the globe, and the results were nothing short of miraculous. Mumps cases plummeted, and millions of children were spared the discomfort and dangers of this disease. Today, thanks to Hilleman's work, mumps is a disease we rarely hear about, a testament to the power of his vaccine. His contribution to medicine and humanity is immeasurable. It's a story of how one man with a mission and a microscope can make a world of difference. But Hilleman didn't stop there. He went on to develop over 40 vaccines during his career, many of which are still in use today. From measles to hepatitis, his vaccines have safeguarded generations, and will continue to do so for many more to come. Hilleman's determination and innovative thinking led to a vaccine that continues to protect us to this day. His story is a reminder that sometimes the biggest changes come from the most unexpected places, and from people who decide to take matters into their own hands. Next, we have Dashrath Manjhi, a man who moved a mountain, quite literally. This isn't a metaphor or an overstatement. Dashrath Manjhi, often referred to as the Mountain Man, was a laborer in India who decided to take on a Herculean task that would span over 2 decades from 1960 to 1982. His life took a tragic turn when his wife, Falguni Devi, died due to a lack of immediate medical attention. The nearest doctor was a grueling 44 miles away, a journey made longer by a towering mountain standing between his village, Gehlar, and the closest town. Fueled by grief and determined to prevent others from suffering a similar fate, Manjhi set out on a mission of epic proportions. Armed with only a hammer and chisel, Manjhi started carving a path through the mountain. This wasn't a weekend project or a fleeting whim. This was a man, undeterred by the enormity of the task, dedicating his life to creating a lifeline for his community. His days were consumed by relentless chipping away at the rocky behemoth, and his nights were spent under its looming shadow. After 22 years of tireless work, Manjhi stood triumphant. Meet Juan Pujol Garcia, a man who single-handedly created a network of deception during World War II. Garcia wasn't your typical war hero. No, he didn't charge headlong into enemy fire. He didn't fly daring aerial missions. He fought his battles from behind a desk with a pen as his weapon. Garcia was an ordinary man with an extraordinary intellect. He was a Spaniard who despised both the Axis and the Allies, but he knew that the lesser of two evils was the latter. So he decided to do something about it. He approached the British intelligence with an audacious plan. He would become a spy, but not just any spy, he would become a double agent. The Brits were intrigued and gave Garcia the codename Garbo. Garcia then set about creating an elaborate network of imaginary spies, 27 in total, each with their own backstory and purpose. The Germans bought it, hook, line, and sinker. They believed that Garcia was their man in Britain, feeding them valuable information. In reality, he was pulling the wool over their eyes in one of the most audacious tricks in espionage history. Garcia's false intelligence played a crucial role in the success of D-Day. He misled the Germans into believing that the main Allied invasion would occur at Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. This diversion allowed the Allies to establish a foothold in France and eventually march towards victory. But Garcia's story doesn't end there. Even after the war, he managed to convince the Germans that he was still their loyal servant, so much so that they awarded him the Iron Cross, one of their highest military honors. All the while, he was playing them like a virtuoso. Garcia's cunning and bravery remind us that sometimes the greatest victories are won not with weapons but with wit. Now let's meet Maria Oktyabrskaya, a woman of courage and unparalleled determination. When World War II took a personal turn for Maria, she didn't sit back and mourn. Her husband's death at the hands of the Nazis was the spark that ignited her fighting spirit. Fueled by a burning desire for revenge, Maria sold all her possessions, and with her life savings, she bought a tank. Can you imagine that? A private citizen buying a tank? She didn't stop there either. She wrote to the Soviet government asking to be allowed to drive her tank, which she lovingly named Fighting Girlfriend, into battle against the very forces that had taken her husband from her. Her request was granted, and Maria, a simple woman turned tank driver, took to the front lines. She was no ordinary soldier. She was a force to be reckoned with. Her ferocity in battle earned her the respect of her comrades and the fear of her enemies. Maria's bravery and determination culminated in her being awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, becoming the first female tank driver to receive such an honor. Maria's story is a testament to the fact that we all have the power to fight for what we believe in, no matter the circumstances. Her commitment to her cause, her refusal to be a mere spectator in the face of adversity, reminds us that we too can be the doers of history, just like her. So from saving lives with a vaccine, moving mountains, to deceiving the enemy in war, these individuals show us what's possible when we decide to take matters into our own hands. In the grand tapestry of history, Maurice Hilleman stands as a beacon of self-driven ingenuity. He turned a personal struggle into a global solution, developing a mumps vaccine from his daughter's sample that has saved millions of lives. Then there's Dashrath Manjhi, the man who literally moved a mountain. For 22 long years, he chipped away at the massive obstacle, carving a path that shortened access to medical help for his community. And let's not forget Juan Pujol Garcia. In the shadows of World War II, he created a double-agent network, deceiving the enemy and playing a crucial role in the victory of the Allies. These individuals didn't wait for someone else to solve the problem. They rolled up their sleeves, faced the challenge head-on, and made a remarkable difference. Let their stories inspire us all to roll up our sleeves, face challenges head-on, and make our own mark on history.